So why huskies seems to not want to listen to your command, right? Why do they seem to like to defy you? They seem to just have no zero recall, right? Um, and I'll tell you, I've thought about that quite a bit, and here's what I came up with. Um, I think the first thing, okay, I think the first thing is I don't think that's their fault, right? Remember what are they bred for? They were bred to be sled dogs. They weren't bred to be at home and like a chihuahua. Um, so they were bred to actually pull sleds and work for us. And what does that mean? Think about it. If you're, you know, you know, traveling on ice, right? You want your sled dogs to be able to like stop when they see that ice is not safe to travel on, right? You wouldn't want your dogs to pull you into thin ice on your command because you can't tell, right? But the dogs can. So I think that's I'm just taking that as one of the examples, but I think that's one of the reasons why they naturally just don't listen to us as much as some of the other dogs because we bred them to do that. And I think the second reason is they're just really stubborn dogs, right? I For some reason, at least from my observation, my boy, I've had my parents have had dogs before. Um, from my observation, it feels like huskies don't seem to want to please you as much as some of the other dogs. So for better or worse, um, and they seem to be more independent in that regard. It's kind of like, okay, what's in it for me, right? Um, all right, you calling me back? Like, what do you offer? What do you have to offer, right? Do you have any treats? What am I gonna get a belly rub or what? Otherwise, they're just gonna be out and about doing their own thing, right? The third reason is it's just I think they're just very curious dogs. They're just very playful. They want to play. And they have a lot of energy, right? So it's kind of like a kid. You try to, at least when I was a kid, let's say, right? If my mom's calling me back and I wasn't done playing, I don't want to come back, right? It's one of those things I think is associated with their high energy level. Um, and that's pretty apparent now that my boy is older. He's a lot more chill. He likes to stay at home a lot more. Um, so he's also got much better recall. All right, so I think that's what um, a lot of Huskies owners, just struggle with is this recall and this stubbornness. And I would just say be patient with them. They do get better over time. Be very consistent so that they know what's going on. Um, and you don't really have to assert any dominance. I think that's kind of, not really productive. You just want to be very consistent and reinforce that expectation that when you call them, you want them to come back. And you can reinforce that with, some treats occasionally. I do that, right? I like to leave some stuff. When I go for a walk, I want him to associate coming home with some nice treats, right? So when I call him back from the backyard, occasionally I give him something to eat, um, and I do that, So, um, and then over time they kind of form a habit. Now don't they? He doesn't really expect that anymore. But if you're just starting to train your husky to try to get into that habit of coming back and having a little bit better recall, this might just be one of the ideas to consider. All right. Peace out.